RPS Cyberpunk is a, quote, handbook for computer crime.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now, he's out of jail, I would assume, this Steve Jackson, huh?
I haven't seen anything about that, but more than likely he is, and this was in 1990, so he more than likely is, because you said the latest print of those cards was 1994.
Well, what I'm reading right now, game designed by Steve Jackson, playsters and rules readers, lots of people, but especially Mike Ford, Monica Stevens, Scott Herring, Jim McCoy, Jim Oldland, Lillian Butler, ORC, and online Illuminati, copyright 82, 83, 87, 91, and 1994 by Steve Jackson Games Incorporated. So that tells me that this print, at least, was in 1996. There's all sorts of glossary of terms. It tells you how to play the game. But let me go after. Let me just, I just showed the George Bush and I showed the Bill Clinton cards, and I thank you for the call. But let me show you some of the other ones. I mean, right here, this is just unbelievable. Just this set of cards alone. Do we ever talk about things like this? I don't know. Market manipulation, the Federal Reserve, savings and loan scams, the big SEC scandals of the 80s and 90s, bigger business. Did we ever discuss that? Did I talk about the IRS with Joe Bannister last evening? Did Wall Street just rob the hell out of us? I think they did. And then this one right here is the bank merger. And what it shows is the biggest fish eating the littler fish. It's just this little succession line. So this game to me is very, very prophetic. I just can't get over some of these cards. I mean, for instance, even some of the more crazy ones, or things that I would think are crazy if I was just coming across this information, is the Reformed Church of Satan. And obviously we had Chris Pinto on about the America's Secret Beginning series, which, carefully documents the fact that the leaders of the world, not just this country, the world, are into the occult and all these crazy little things. And then on top of that, they've got this other one, which I'm going to go into depth on the other side, the Center for Weird Studies. If you don't know what this is, I encourage people to check out The Men Who Stare at Goats. We'll talk about it on the other side. It's the InfoWarrior with Jason Bermas. All right, folks, we are back. It's the InfoWarrior with Jason Bermas, and that was a great band, Scars on Broadway, side project from System of a Down. Really dig that album. If you haven't heard it, go check out the whole thing. It's excellent. Now, I was talking about this Center for the Weird Studies. Okay? Why is this important? Well, John Ronson, who is one of the guys that actually helped Alex Jones get into the Bohemian Grove, wrote a book about it, became a bestseller, did a follow-up book called The Men Who Stare at Goats, and that's one of these weird programs where they would literally try to use their quote-unquote mind powers to stop the hearts of goats. Let me repeat that. Use their mind powers to stop the hearts of goats. Now, in it is a thing called, what's it called? I can't think of it off the bat. Oh, it's the First Earth Battalion. The First Earth Battalion was going to use mind powers and weaponry that was non-lethal. Let's say it again. Non-lethal weaponry. Okay? It was absolutely ridiculous, and I encourage people to go check out this series because it is very telling of what these people believe and what they're willing to do. And it really, some of the things that they were doing look a lot like this. The Center for Weird Studies. Folks, these cards are just unbelievable. For instance, check this out. The Internet Worm. Ooh, cyber attacks. And then you look at this computer security card, and it looks an awful lot like the Worldwide Mind or something out of Minority Report. Some of the other ones here that we've got, fast food chains. Can anybody say GMO food poison? Can we say it? Can we learn it? Can we know it? Then I've got of course, the Supreme Court card. And right now we're about to have a new Supreme Court justice, and for some reason Hillary Clinton's name is being thrown around. And then we have the Corporate Masters card. We talk about, I use the term corporate masters all the time. Folks, clone arrangers. And just this last 2 weeks, this guy has come out and said he's cloned all sorts of human beings. So this card set, again, very prophetic, very chilling. Here's the Clipper chip. And the Clipper chip is so that they can spy on everybody's phone calls and communications. Didn't we report on that too here? Isn't that MSNBC where they're saying they're taking all your emails, all the pages that you've surfed, everything right here? It's unbelievable to me. All right, we're going to continue to go to your calls. Let's go to Forrest in Texas. Forrest, you're on the line.
Yes, sir, Reed Jason. God bless the INFOWARRIOR Nation.
Thank you, sir.
I have a story from the late 90s about gun control. It was an issue that happened with me and some friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, me and a buddy found these Elvis posters at this a donation station for the Goodwill, but it was after hours, so it was just like free stuff. So we found these posters in the supermarket parking lot, and then we brought it over to this creek, and then we called up a buddy that had a BB gun. So one of my buddies was firing off BB gun rounds at these posters, and so we ran out of the BBs. So then, me and a buddy went over to Walmart, and then when we came back, we found out that my friend had the BB gun confiscated by the police because there was a jogger. This guy that was walking his dog, little she's in one
of those little Shih Tzu dogs.
Right, exactly. So what happened was this guy gave out a really loud shriek and started running away. The number 1 in his pants. And then he called the police, and then when 5 police officers were questioning my friend and whatnot, this guy was videotaping the whole thing, and he kept saying crime doesn't pay, this and that, and it was in this creek that was a few hundred feet away from the path, and he was just firing off these BBs at these.
Oh, that's a crime. Let me tell you another story I just heard from this office, and I thank you for the call, Forrest.
Thanks.
No problem, brother. Basically, one of the girls that works here was telling me a story about how she was in a car with somebody, just parked in a parking lot, and this cop came up to them, and what they were doing was they were spray painting his dashboard. They were just trying to, no one was around, they were spray painting the dashboard, and the cop came over all friendly hey, how's everybody doing? What's going on here? Oh, cool, you're doing that? Then he sees a .22 rifle in the back seat. She said she was immediately thrown on the ground, so was he. They were cuffed. They were left there for over an hour. And, of course, the gun was registered and legal. Did they get an apology? No. No, they were just thug jackbooted for a guy carrying his gun legally. They didn't want to take his word for it. They didn't want to just sit him down and just say, okay, just hold on a minute. Let's find out where this came from. No, you're immediately thrown on the ground. You're immediately cuffed. You're immediately treated like a criminal. Let's jump to Jason in New Hampshire. Jason, you're on the line. Yes, sir.
I actually called in for something completely different, but now that you started talking about the Steve Jackson games, I unfortunately have to admit that I'm an old gaming geek. Used to play Dungeons & Dragons and all that.
Oh, no. Now, tell me you didn't extend to Magic the Gathering. Tell me that was it. Say when that came out.
No, yeah.
Okay.
That was long before I went around. I used to play second edition Dungeons & Dragons, but
okay.
I do remember when Steve Jackson's games did get raided. I remember there was a big thing in the industry. And one of the cards you guys missed, and this wasn't even when I called, it's just going to happen that you guys started talking about this. There is a card within that Illuminati thing where the Twin Towers get hit by a fucking plane.
Thank you for the call, sir, and we did go through that one. They don't get hit by a plane, but it's a terrorist nuke, my friend, and we showed that one earlier. See, we started the show off with it. We showed that one and the Pentagon one. So, yeah, that is very eerie. I thank you for the call, Jason. Let's jump to Adam in Pennsylvania. Adam, you're on the air.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I can't kill goats by staring at them, but I have some perfect things I'd like to talk to you about.
Have you ever heard of that series, by the way, Crazy Rulers of the World?
Yeah, I have heard of that stuff.
Have you seen it? I mean, it's available on YouTube. You can get it on a torrent site. See, that's why I love the internet, because without the internet, I wouldn't even know that existed. It was only aired overseas. And when you watch the 3-part series, the first part is dedicated to the 1st Earth Battalion, mind powers, and that sort of thing. The second one is all about overseas torture. And the really interesting thing about the overseas torture is the way that they're torturing these people in Gitmo and other places is that they are literally putting bags over their head. Is everybody hearing that in my headphones? All right, never mind. Literally putting bags over people's heads and then playing Mr. Rogers theme music and Barney. I love you, you love me. We're a happy family while they're being tortured and basically their senses are being deprived. I mean, I encourage people to go check that out big time. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely sick. But, yeah, here's the thing I wanted to call you about. I've been wanting to call you about this for a while, and after hearing you on the Alex Jones show yesterday, I decided tonight was probably a good night to do it. I mean, I know you would know as well as anyone from personal experience with, like, you know, with researching 9/11, and you go up to people and try to talk to them about it, especially people in the media, and they kind of, you know, poo-poo it, but you know that they haven't really dug into the evidence, you know,